Hey everyone, it's Will, Gamer Dad, with another video for you. So in tonight's episode of Should You Summon, we'll discuss the newest unit, Wenefica, aka Wendy, and I'll let you know my thoughts about whether or not you should go for her. Now if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel, I really appreciate it. I also do have a Patreon account for those who want to support me this way. Now, if you're wondering, I also do have a video about who to choose for the Stardream encounter. I'll put that in the that link in the description below. You can check that out and see if you need any assistance with selecting an appropriate unit for the Stardream. Now, of course, first of all, being that these are all Stellar Awakened units, remember that if you do hit the 5-star, you do get it all full 3 out of 3 Awakening gauges with the pickup bonus, which is mentioned in this banner, of course. If it's not mentioned, you do not get that, so keep that in mind. And so, Wenefica does get the pickup bonus. If you happen to hit a second 5-star, you get an extra 10 shadow as well, which is a total of 26 instead of 16. And but really, you only need one copy, and you get the full Awakening 3 out of 3. Now, the paid banner does include all the units up to Wenefica, including Oboro and Sirius, which are our two most recent units before that. And of course, older units such as Villette, Lacrimo, Monoka. You see all those powerful units up top. And then all the way down to the bots, Rainbow Sisters, and Knights of the World. Okay. And there are 3 chances to get that with Wenefica's Fateful. And again, note that it is also 0.4 and 0.8 with a 10% chance on the 10th pull. Now, if you're wondering about the normal version, it's not nearly as good. Now, keep in mind that for whatever reason, the free banners last for about a month, and the Fateful lasts a lot less than that. So this is a little bit weird. Check out the batch here. Same thing, we do get the pickup bonus if you are pulling with free stones. Also, keep in mind that we do have the access to the Oboro and Sirius. So this is a little bit different, that since the banners are a lot shorter, all the units previous to this unit are still available. Although you do not get a fully Stellar Awakened unit, you only get 1 out of 3 Awakening gauges if you hit the 5-star. Remember, also 4.5s do not count and will not benefit your Stellar Awakening gauge at all. Just like before, you see the same units, the same culprits, Villette, LCO, Cesta, and so forth. And unfortunately, bots, Rainbow Sisters, and Knights. So, pretty standard there. Now, what about Wenefica? She's our second Shade Zone setter. I didn't mention this yesterday, so remember that she can set Shade Zone with a VC. Actually, no, not even with the VC. She just sets it with a battle start. As long as you're in the front line, and there are 2 or 3 Shade characters in the front line, including herself, so her +1, you get Shade Zone right after off the bat. If you Stellar Awaken her and you have access to the enhanced version, when you have 4 Shade units in the front lines, you get Awakened Shade Zone. So very, very powerful, but even the normal version is nice in the fact that you can set Zone right off the bat. In terms of her active moves, I don't know if she has an ability to do zone setting, so that is one downside to that. However, if you do have the Stellar Awakened version, she does, with her Stellar move, have the ability to, just like Suzette, break and remove any active zone and deploy Shade Zone and Awaken Shade Zone. And as long as you have the ability to cast the Stellar move, which is called Death Curse now, you'll be able to do that. And by the way, that also is an end of turn effect. Most of her effects are actually end of turn, so they don't happen right away, but it's still extremely powerful in terms of, in this case, this move can do up to 1 billion essentially, depending on how much damage is already dealt to the enemy. So from any source, if you can deal 1 billion damage, she'll repeat that for another 1 billion, which is very, very nice. And keep in mind, can probably clear HP stuffers on her own, with that being that is essentially, I think it's like one of those non-type ones. So it's just fixed damage, which I don't even know if the enemy can reduce that. Sounds really exciting. Not only that, this Death Curse, again a Stellar Awakened Zone move, stacks 50 of these grudges. And just like the amped version on the Villettes of the world, that will give not only 50 grudges, will help interact with a lot of her cursing, because she does a lot of debuffs and curses that basically damage enemies or affect enemies at the end of turn, and apply all these weird things to it, either by damage or weakness or pain and poison. And those poison and pain damage is actually quite a bit higher depending on the number of grudge stacks. She also gets 20 grudge stacks per turn. However, I believe that the grudges do decrease for every hit that your unit takes. And so it's not invulnerable in that sense. However, I'm sure there's ways to mitigate the damage or shield the damage so you don't take, as many curses or grudges off, so that your curses can do tons and tons of damage. Again, these are all end of turn effects, so you don't get the attack during the turn itself. So it takes some specific play style in order to get that done. But she sounds extremely interesting. And again, it plays off her that 50 stacks, just like with Valette, where at 50 stacks or higher, Valette's moves are all unlocked where she does a lot more damage as well. So pretty complex in this sense. But just to sum it up, she can weaken the enemy, she can type res down up to 100%, she can do lots of damage and double the damage done that turn, all at the end of turn, not to mention other fun abilities. Okay, and not only that, if you do have the Stellar Awakened version, she can stack tons, all of her different, curses on the enemy, which, like I said before, does all these effects. So, should you summon her? Now, I will say, she's not a traditional unit. She sounds very unique, and keep in mind that it probably only plays well into certain types of play styles. So, for example, if you're more of a stall kind of team where you can build and build and build and finally finish the enemy, I think she's going to do extremely well. Now, with units such as Efi, which obviously is another shade unit, which also sets shade zone and can help tank units and damage for your team. Not her, but her minions, so to speak. I think you're going to have a lot of fun with the two of those. And if you're talking about helping with type res down and other kind of enhancements, Yakumo can easily fit the bill. Not to mention ES Tuva or other type of shade units to help support the team. I think ES Tuva is probably one of the best shade support units on available currently in the game. So if you have a front four like that, your shade team is going to be near unstoppable with the likes of passive damage, massive pain and poison, debuffs from all the different ways, massive DPS, and so on and so forth. So overall, I would say that alone, not sure she is absolutely necessary per se. However, if you already have the beginnings of a shade team, and by beginnings I would say either even Yakumo or ES Tuva or Efi, I think she's going to do extremely well for you. So if you're newer to the game, should you summon on this unit? Well, keep in mind that you do get that pickup bonus as well. And so if you pass on this banner and decide to go for her in the future, you won't get the Stellar Awakened right off the bat. You'll have to wait either by using all Cosmos Star Charts upgrade units items, or you'll have to hit it 3 times, which is a lot more difficult. So there is a pro and con to going for it right now versus not. But if you're newer to the game, you'll probably have a lot of stones you still have to grind out through doing super bosses and also logging in and doing things. I don't see any reason not to summon for it. As for myself, I do think she's quite powerful, and I do want to add her to my existing shade team. So I'm going to venture some stones at her and hope for the best. But of course, like any unit, nothing is absolutely necessary. So, keep that in mind. I just do think that she has a lot of potential and can really make your shade team ultra powerful. Anyways, let me know in the comments below how you've done in your pulls if you've already pulled. I can tell you my youngest, which is Andros Prime, did 1 10 pull and 1 single and hit the Awakened 5-star Wenefica on the single pull. So 1100 stones total. He is extremely lucky and I'm extremely jealous. I'm hoping that I have similar luck because, let's be honest, with the new advent of the system, remember, 4.5s are worthless. Even upgrading to a 5, she's going to be gimped up if you even get her at all. Hoping to have my first Stellar Awakened gacha unit with this banner, so we'll have to see how it goes. Again, with all banners, I do wish you all great luck in pulling. If you have some stones and you're willing to go with the Fateful, that's probably your best bet. Remember also, just in case it didn't answer you, the Star Dream will not awaken fully. It only awakens by 1, as clearly mentioned here. So don't be confused and say, I'll just Star Dream for the Ouroboros or Sirius. You only get 1 out of 3 awakening gauges and will not have a fully awakened unit, okay? Anyways, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.